Hello everybody. Well, I'm saying everybody, I don't know how many people have managed to join me today, but this session I'm going to explain a few things from questions that I've been asked, and some of you, because I've already mentioned earlier on in the week, or last week rather, that I was going to do this session, you have actually sent me some questions, and some of them are really good. So right, we'll start. So one of the questions I was asked, why can I not remember my dreams? And this is one from one of my spiritual students who is quite advanced spiritually. Now, in our dreams, we do a lot of work where we can help other souls, people that, need healing, that are either alive or have passed over, and also some people, they may need reassurance, or they may need messages from us, because our spirit guides will use our ability as a spiritual person to pass on messages to others when we're asleep. Because when we're asleep and everybody else is asleep, quite rightly, our soul and that has the ability to connect to another soul, and also, to do healing and to do, talking, and even interaction. And this is why sometimes it's quite good, if you've got a problem, is to ask your spirit guides if you then can have some sort of answers in your dreams. And it might even mean that you go and talk to your granddad, or, that's passed over, or, a school teacher or something like that. And that's really good then, if you can, get some guidance. Hi Annette, I can see you. Hi, you darling. So remembering your dreams, sometimes this could be, that you're not supposed to remember what another person's told you, so you get it from your gut feeling. Because one of the rules of the universe is to have free will. Our spirit guides and that, they can't actually say to us do X, Y and Z. They can give us some sort of prompts, they can give us some sort of hints, but it's still our free will, it's our choice what we do. So in our dreams, invariably, we are doing things, I wouldn't like to say that are secret, but maybe a bit private, or is really for our higher self, our soul to know about, not us. Another thing is, when somebody's passed over and they are a little bit sad, they may need help and reassurance to say that life after death does carry on. We've only temporarily left behind our relatives and that here in the physical, but we can still talk to them in our dreams. And if our relatives and that can meditate and they can daydream, we can then get messages across, as well as using the pendulum. Now, another question somebody asked me yesterday was, why, when she's asking a specific question, does her pendulum sometimes give different answers? Now, the pendulum is only a telephone. So the pendulum, to remind you, let me just see if I can find one, to remind you, this is what your pendulum's like. I mean, you might have different ones, what have you, but this is only a telephone. And when you're using your telephone, your pendulum, you need to try and assess and find out who you're talking to. Are you talking to a spirit guide? Are you talking to a relative? Are you talking to an angel? And quite obviously, like if there's a group of us together, we've all got different points of view. So sometimes, your spirit guides will not agree. They might think this would be best for you, or that might be. Like, okay, if I ask my granddad who's in spirit, do you think that I need to lose weight? Because he loves me, he might say, oh, no, you're fine, you're well loved, Whereas, of course, if I ask somebody else, they might say, oh, it does you well if you do lose weight. I asked another spirit, for a different reason. So again, it depends on who you're talking to. Now, I know quite obviously when you're using a pendulum, you invariably only get yes and no answers. So you might take you a little while to find out who's using the pendulum to talk to you, and you might need to ask 2 or 3 questions until you can work out if it's a spirit guide, an angel, or a relative. So that is a good indication then of what answers they might give you. Now, if it is your main spirit guide, which all of us have got a main spirit guide, your main spirit guide will often know your future. And the other one that will know your future is your guardian angel. But quite rightly, they're not always allowed to tell us what's going to happen. Because I don't know, if say you was told, you know, next week you're going to win the lottery, you think, right, okay, let's go out there and buy a really expensive car, let's put the house on the market, buy a big house, and because you've changed the future by what you're doing now in the present, you know, because it isn't cut and dried, we have the ability to change things. Okay, we do eventually end up where we're supposed to end up, but if we interfere with spirit, interfere too much with their way of working things out for us and our life's plan, we can slow things down, or we can have little hiccups, or, you know, bumps in the road. So, you know, invariably using your pendulum, it will depend who you're talking to, and, you know, often if it is your main guide, they won't tell you. And you might find your pendulum doesn't move. You think, oh, it's broken, they're not talking to me. Or it could be that the pendulum's not moving because they're not supposed to tell you. Now, your main thing that you need to do, which most of you do, and I hope that you still carry on doing it even though you're on lockdown, is making sure that you ground yourself every day and put your protection around you. Even though you're in lockdown, you're still going to feel the energy around you, you know, from your next door neighbours and people walking along the street exercising. So you need to keep your energy nice, and with doing that you can ask for Archangel Michael to help you. He will do it, you know, for you, and also will put protection around the house and that as well. So that's one thing that I'd like all of you to carry on doing. Now, moving on to that, another one where I can find it here, one of my other ladies last week asked me, grounding, can it be done in a flat? And also, can it be done on the move, like if you're in a train, a bus or a car? Now, a flat, fine, because you're stationary, so you're grounding, your energy is going to connect to earth energy, so you're then going to be stable, a bit like, I don't know, I shouldn't like to say electricity, but like if you imagine it being earthed and coming down, that's fine because you're stationary. So that yes, you can do that, but if you are on an aeroplane, on a train, on a bus, in a car, I would not say it's almost impossible, but it'd be very, very difficult because you are moving, you're not connected really to the earth energy because you're not stable. So ideally, if you're all being good, like I've taught you, you do your grounding protection in the morning when you're at home, and grounding protection in the evening just before you go to bed. You know, you can still ask for a protective bubble around you if you're feeling vulnerable, you know, but the grounding part, which is relaxing your energy, connecting, anchoring your energy if you like, you need to be stationary. So that's that one. One of my other ladies has asked, do spirits know we've got coronavirus? Now, that's a little bit of a difficult one because they will know, but they will be often, how do you put it, not allowed to interfere, so sometimes they may not know the gist of it, they may not know the implications as such. And also your spirit guides will be looking after you and your family, your immediate family. They won't be putting their energies worrying about your neighbours or worrying about other people, you know, worldwide. So our spirit guides will be concentrating on just us and our immediate family. And with the coronavirus and that, you know, with it being a virus, it's going to be very difficult to see, very difficult to sense. But I do feel at the moment there's a lot of angel energy. I'm also seeing a lot of emerald green, which is Archangel Raphael, so I know he's supporting people. And it's really upsetting for so many people because nearly everybody knows somebody that's passed over. You know, so even somebody that's passed over, somebody on the realm, we can still give them healing to help that person, but also to help the people left behind as well. But Archangel Raphael is the healing angel. he often will show his essence, shall we say, that is around his presence with like an emerald sort of green. You know, so do ask for his help, and he will then, you know, help, you know, for whatever reason he needs some healing for you personally or for your friends and family, you know, that there. What's another one? So I've done those. So I've got bits of paper here with all different questions people have asked me. Another good one that one of my other students has asked, she wants to know if her husband has got spirit guides even though he doesn't believe. Now I believe every person has got spirit guides with them. Now these spirit guides could be relatives, they could be angels, and they, you know, will almost certainly have a main guide that's joined with them before they were even born. So every person, every little baby, when they're born, they will have a main spirit guide and their guardian angel, you know, and the guardian angel and the main spirit guide will then decide, you know, when it's appropriate and if it's needed for not more angels to come in and more spirit guides to come in. So even though somebody's a non-believer, I believe, yes, that everybody has got spirit guides, you know, and that is nice and reassuring. But quite rightly, like I said earlier on, it's free will. So they're not going to force their knowledge onto you. They're not going to force their opinion because it's all free will. You know, so if the person doesn't want to believe, you know, or does not believe genuinely, then that's fine. You know, that's entirely up to you. And that's why I like this spiritual stuff. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you're male, female, your gender, anything, religion, what have you. It's, you know, it can help everybody and it's very personal. And spirituality is what you genuinely believe. Nobody else forces it on you. And also it's about, you know, often going your intuition and your gut feeling and that as well. So I believe, yes, your husband's got spirit guides, you know, and so is everybody else. What's another one? What is an empath? Now, some of you may not understand the word empathic or empath. Now, I think, excuse me, nearly everybody has some sort of empathy. And being an empath, hold on a minute, I've got a tickle in my throat, hold on. Don't worry, I haven't got anything, no lurgies. Right, an empath is where you're sensitive to energy. So many of you might be able to walk into a room and know there's been an argument in there, even though nobody's in there. And like when, you know, clients and students and that come to our home, they can feel the love that we've got within the home, you know, in me and Paul and everything else. So empathic is picking up the feelings of other people, situations and environments. Now the problem is with empathics, because many spiritual people are aware of sensing energy, that if you are in an environment or if you're with somebody that's a bit grumpy or somebody that is a bit sad, shall we say, a sensitive person, empathic person is going to feel that. And the problem is that sensitive person, that empathic, is going to think it's them. But it isn't, it's the other people. Because if the other people are feeling grumpy and you walk in the room, an empathic person, sensitive person starts to feel grumpy, they think it's them. Now, that is why with an empathic person, it's very important that you keep putting your gold bubble all the way around you and under your feet, as well as grounding. But grounding is where you're connecting to earth energy, so you're anchored, which you can do with the pendulum. But if you can put your gold bubble around you, even if you have to do it quite often, you then are shielding yourself from the feelings of the other people. Okay, it won't work 100%, but even if it works 60, 70, 80%, that's all the better. You know, because if you are an empathic person, which many people are, and a sensitive person, you're going to then feel, you know, whatever's going on around you. And how do you know if it's you? You know, and how do you know that it's something that somebody else has made you feel, and they're then bringing your energy down? Now, that's moving on to another question, one of my other ladies a couple of weeks ago has asked, why do I always have bad luck? Why does it keep happening to me? You know, and the problem is, if you keep manifesting and think in your head, oh, I'm always going to go wrong, oh, I'm no good, and it's always going to happen, and things going to, you know, happen, bad are happening to me, you'll bring that energy in. Now, if you're in lockdown, if you've got two of you, you know, because I don't want you to go around to the neighbours and mixing with anybody else at the moment, but what you can do quite easily, I'm going to put my papers down, is if you put your hands like that, about 2 foot away from the other person, you have to take it in turns, and the person feeling, just feel the other person's energy. Now, the person's energy that you're feeling, I want them just to think of the word, I don't know, shall we say, happy. Now, when you're feeling that person, that's feeling the energy around them, and you're feeling their memory, their mind saying happy, you'll feel all nice and tingly and all that sort of thing, maybe, I don't know, or nice and smooth or whatever. And then if you say to the person, right, okay, now can you think of the word anger? And you put your hands there, okay, it depends how sensitive you are and if you're healers and all that sort of thing. But then you might feel it feels all prickly or it might feel warm. And that's just with the person thinking. So what you're thinking is always going to happen to me, it's always bad. You're bringing that energy into your aura. So if you're doing it in two of you, we're feeling, then swap over and have the other one. It's just a little quick exercise, you know, to say that what you think is what you then put out into your auric field, and then you're bringing it into the environment, into your home, and if you're not careful, you're then spreading it to other people. So your thoughts, try and change them, say, you know, about good things, you know, you know, finding some sort of glimmer, you know, or I love my hair, or, you know, I love that that's sun shining, or if it's raining, that the flowers are having a drink. Try and think of something positive. So if anything, you know, sad or not very nice happens, try and sort of find some sort of positive little thing in it. And the weird thing is, yesterday, not weird, but in a nice way, in this sad time with this coronavirus, I just went out to the recycling, the front of the house, and there was 4 lots of people in our great big crescent we got there, walking in couples, you know, staying away from each other and what have you, just in couples from families. There were a couple of, another couple, 2 lots as well, with on the bike with a little child, and then there was another lad with his father, I presume, and another couple playing football. And I'm thinking, children don't understand about coronavirus, but they, in years to come, are going to remember this time that they've had with the mums and dads. Without the mums and dads rushing off to work and all that, they've got quality time together. So, you know, like with such a sad time, think of something or see something positive, see something that you can, and not so much cling on to that, but to remember, in sad times, there's always hope. There's always nice things going on. Right, let's have a little look at another one. So those are those questions. Right, can my granddad be a spirit guide? Yes, he can. Because all of us need spirit guides to help us in different skills and different aspects of our life. Now, if we're doing healing, quite obviously we need a healing guide. If some of you are mediums, you need somebody that's really good, you know, at passing on messages, giving you thoughts, you know, giving you images. But your basics of even what clothes that you wear, even like getting to go out and go for a walk, or go and water the garden, or, you know, look after the flowers, are those aspects normal everyday things. We need normal everyday people that are in spirit to help us. And some people that are feeling a bit flat, sometimes our main spirit guide will ask for children to come into the household, you know, just to encourage the people to have a bit of fun and have a bit of laughter, and, you know, and find, you know, the child within themselves. And also, if you're a spirit person like me, that you'll find as well that your relatives that have passed over, they'll be watching what we're doing. They'll be watching how we use, you know, our ability to do healing, how we use our ability to pass on messages. So they then will learn from us working with our spirit guides, so they become more advanced. and they become more spiritual as well. And my grandmother, and I don't know if Donna's here as well watching or what have you, but my grandmother, Gertrude, was sweet, it sounds an old-fashioned name, but that's what her name was. She used to rescue animals, and we've even got a photograph of her where she's got a jay that was injured and she nursed it back to life. And considering she was a farmer's wife, you know, she had a lot of animals and a lot of empathy with the animal, the wildlife and what have you. And that, I think, in some ways is rubbed off on me. And when I was a veterinary nurse, I quite often felt that my grandmother Gertrude was around me, you know, and that's lovely. And that's so special that we can do that. So yes, your granddad and your grandma, you know, and other relatives can be a spirit guide as well. Oh, it's another one. Do animals and plants have souls? Yes. Well, yes and no, really. Animals, yes, do have souls. I personally believe that we are reincarnated. We start off as an angel. We start off as the pure light being. We then decide to come down to earth, and we inhabit a human body, a physical body. And that's why some people that are spiritual and their soul's quite young, they struggle, you know, with being down on the heavy density and the negative energy of earth. But animals have the same ability to reincarnate, you know, and you might find that your cat, your dog, even your horse has got different aspects and different characteristics that you can recognise from another animal. So yes, I believe that all animals have got souls, they have been here before, and they keep, you know, evolving like we do. And I don't know if any of you know, and it depends what you believe, but the highest evolved animal is a unicorn, and the horn on top of its head is the third eye. And yes, you know, do believe in unicorns, and yes, I have seen them in my dreams, and I've seen them in meditation. Now, the second question, as far as that, have plants got souls? Now, plants have definitely got an energy. They've definitely got a vibration, but their essence, I believe, and I wouldn't like to say the soul of the tree, but their essence is with the fairy kingdom, the elemental kingdom. And I believe there are a lot of spiritual beings that inhabit all the plants, all the trees, and that then, if you like, gives the energy to that tree. So that tree, in a sense, has got a soul, but that soul or that essence is made up of different spiritual beings, you know, and there are different scientists that have managed to get electricity energy through them, we can hear them and all this sort of thing, what have you as well. So in some ways, you know, the soul of a tree isn't one soul in the tree itself, but a gathering, if you like, a family, if you like, of spiritual beings, you know. And okay, you might think I'm a bit loopy and you'd be going down the garden and talking to your trees, but that's fine. They've got lovely energy and you'll be talking to their little family. Oh, this is another one, right. My niece has night terrors, what can I do? Now, this is quite common because many children are sensitive to spirits. And the problem is that some children, that they could be doing a lot of rescue work in their dreams. Also, many spirits are fascinated with children, they love children, and many spirits don't even know that they've passed over. You know, many spirits, they're not lost necessarily because they've got spirit guides looking after them, but some reason they might want to hang around us and be here, but they are fascinated with children. So, you know, with children having night terrors, it could be to do with their dreams, or it could be that they've got spirits that surround the house and in the bedroom, not wanting to do the child any harm, but curious. And the times over the years that I've seen that you've got children that wake up in the night and they can see people walking around the room. Now, the mum and the dad can't see anybody, but many spiritual children haven't got the analytical, logical mind, shall we say, of us as an adult. So they're more open to seeing things. Now, if that does happen, you know, message me and I'll help, because everybody's individual. But a couple of things you can do. You can ask for Archangel Michael to look after that child, which Archangel Michael does. And also the other thing is you can check that you've got no open spiritual doorways in your home, and especially in the bedroom of the child. And what you need to do is contact me, and it's something I teach on my foundation course, is about closing down spiritual doorways. So if you find that there's one open, that means that you've got people coming in and out. You need to get in touch with me, and I can sort that out individually. But if you ask for Archangel Michael, he will protect that child. And if need be, using your pendulum, you can ask him to close and seal any spiritual doorways until you've managed to get in touch with me. Alright, so that's about night terrors. And the other thing I like as well, over the years, I've helped different children where you've got, a dream catcher, and hang a dream catcher above their head where they sleep. And I find, with the dream catcher, it then helps with their crown chakra energy and helps them to become more relaxed in their dreams, as well as having, a figurine or a picture of an angel in the bedroom. But Archangel Michael, he's the one that will look after the children. Yeah. This is another one. Somebody's asked me, is God real? Now, God is an essence, it is a spiritual being, and God is very personal to everybody throughout the world. God is known by different names, but I believe God is a celestial being that's very high, and he is often referred to with our spirit guides and our angels as the word source. So they call God source, and that's not me. That, if you can check this out with your pendulum if you want to, but your angels and spirit guides will call God source, because he's the source of creation, he's the source of essence, he's the source of light. And I have done meditation where I've managed to go up and talk to God, and I just cried and cried because it's so emotional and all that, but again, it's up to the individual. But I personally believe that God source is real, but it is in essence a very highly evolved celestial being, but it's very personal to everybody. God is known by different names, which he doesn't mind, because God comes from love, and he comes from the heart, and God is all around it, and because he's from the light, God is in everything, in every sort of like essence, if you like, and we're a part of God and he's a part of us. And I'm not into any particular religion. I take a little bit from everybody. I don't always got a special name, but I always call, and because I've done it since a little girl, I go from here, rather than, going to any particular religious domain or whatever you call it. And growing up, curiosity, I went to so many different temples, so many different churches, so I could feel the different energy from them, and it was lovely. It was really nice. Oh, right, okay, another one. Please explain karma. Now, karma, often you see on the media, karma's going to get you. But the thing is, karma is not always bad. Karma's good. And if you can tap into the good part of the karma will then, you can help with all the good deeds that you've done. I don't know if it's by nature, but humans by nature often are pessimistic. And like somebody walked into a room and they give you a whole load of compliments and one insult, what you're going to remember, the one insult, aren't you? And that's maybe, human nature. But karma is about all the deeds that you've done in previous lifetimes and this lifetime, and that karma is about your deeds that you've done, what you've said, your actions that you've done, and your good ones are, valuable, but I think also your mistakes are even more valuable, especially if you learn from them. Now with the karma as well, with our spiritual beings that we have looking after us, which are the lords of karma. You can always research and Google it and what have you. I don't know if I'm allowed to use that word. But anyway, the laws of karma, they reside in the halls of learning, and they look after the Akashic records, which are the records of every single human being on the planet, and they keep the records of what we've agreed to do in this lifetime, what lessons we've learnt from a previous lifetime that we need to learn if we haven't already done so in this lifetime, but also what we're going to be doing the next lifetime, and what we've agreed to help not only with society, friends and family, but to help the world. I believe we're like a spiritual jigsaw. All of us meet each other, all of us interact with each other for a reason. And with this karma, there's a bigger issue out there, if you like, a bigger plan that often involves a lot of people. I also believe with karma that you can have a group of friends that have agreed to help each other learn karma, good and bad, from previous lifetimes, then meet in this lifetime. That's why sometimes you're out shopping or meet somebody that's a stranger and you already feel that you know them. And it's probably because you met them before and they've helped you with your karma previously. They're helping you now, you're helping them. But karma isn't always about bad stuff. Often it's about good stuff. So, you know, karma is just about who we are, what we've done, and our deeds and our actions. Yeah? Let's have a look then, so that there. People talk about life's purpose. What is it? Now, your life's purpose, that invariably is something none of us know about consciously. But subconsciously, you get an urge or craving to do something. And that is your life's purpose that you've given an oath, if you like, or a promise to your spiritual beings before you've come here. Now, your spiritual beings could be your main guide, that could be your guardian angel, the lords of karma, because we haven't always got a choice if we can come back here. We might have to wait a bit. So we might be up in heaven being a spirit guide or helping other people up there. You know, we're very lucky if we're given a vessel, and that vessel is your human body to come back down here. So your life's purpose is what you've agreed to do. Now, it could even be that you've agreed, you know, to teach people, you've agreed to help people in other ways. You know, to me, like, you know, a caretaker at a school, he's guarding and looking after the children. A hairdresser, look at all the hairdressers that, you know, I've got clients and what have you, but hairdressers are fantastic at being a counsellor. You know, you're sitting having your hair done for 3 hours and what have you. You know, how many secrets and that do you share with your hairdresser? You know, hairdressers are brilliant at counselling. You know, and you've got everybody else like nurses, the dustbin men, everybody has got a role. They've got a very important role, and if one of those people can't do their role, it then has a ripple effect on others. So everybody's life's purpose is very important. Now, the one person that will, or two actually, that do know your life's purpose is your main guide and your guardian angel. So if you want to have clarification of your gut feeling, what you can do is, because we're not consciously allowed to know, you can ask your spirit guides when you go to sleep, can they please take you to the halls of learning to meet the lords of karma, for them to reaffirm your life's purpose. And this is sometimes good for people that feel a bit flat, or some people that feel a bit down, or they've lost their oomph, or they just don't know what to do, or they're in a high-powered job and they just feel it's too stressful, I'm not enjoying it, what do I need to do? Now, when you've done this and you've asked them to take you in the dreams, invariably you won't remember. Like I said earlier on, you're not always consciously allowed, if you like, or permitted to remember your dreams. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll have an inner feeling, a gut feeling, an inner knowing, this is what I need to do. I haven't got it consciously in my head, but my gut feeling is telling me, you know, and that will help you with your life's purpose. Let's have a look. Flat coronavirus, terrors. Oh, there's another one here. Yeah. Can angels protect us from harm? Yes, they can. Because one thing that I find is harmful is people's inability, if that's the right word to use in my dyslexia, not to love themselves. So they're not very good at giving themselves compliments, not very good at loving themselves. Now, if you don't love yourself or even like yourself, how are you then going to love other people? Because if you're not careful, you're then going to put yourself down and you're going to attract the wrong partner. You're going to attract somebody that then is going to be too overpowering, or somebody's going to take your energy, you know. So the angel, one of the things that's valuable for them to protect you is love. So you ask them to surround you in love, as well as doing the gold. And the one person that I've said in my Archangel talk was Archangel Haniel. And Haniel, it's got like a really strong, like pink energy. She works with the pink ray, you know, when she works with me and what have you. And she's really good at doing that because she will bring in love. And if you feel loved, you'll then feel safe. And if you feel safe, you'll then feel protected. So ask the angels to, you know, surround you in love, surround your home in love, your office, your workplace in love, as well as working with Archangel Metatron to put a gold pyramid above the house and one underneath the house. You know, you can do that as well, and that's really protective. So I hope that you found these question and answers quite useful. If some of you think of any more questions that you'd like me to do, I can always do another session on this then as well. You know, let me think. I can't think of anything else that's recently been asked for me because I've written them all down here. Anyway, my lovelies, if you can give me any feedback as to how this has gone, and take care, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Goodbye.